on Nepal. We'll thank Nekkra. See you after the match, or after the map, and of course after the match too. And speaking of Nepal, Team CC 3-1 map stats. Like Gaming have only seen this twice, losing to GZA and then winning this versus TSL. So both teams pretty comfortable in this map.
So already coming out of the gates, you can see NightGod on Doomfist as expected here today. Just going to be really aggressive on this pick. He is not the type to hang back at all. You're going to see him diving in, Dizzy following up, looking to clean up. Interesting though, JWJ matching the McCree here.
The May McCree, though, is scary, right? You have so much CC of slowing down enemies and stunning them. Kind of get that same thing with the Doomfist, right? And then there is NightGod already tossing everyone up, and a gray wall will secure that point. Slow things down mainly for Team CC, dropping that immortality field, getting healed up, but look how aggressive NightGod is. He goes in, goes out, not getting any picks, and a lucky shot on from JWJ finds Unai. First cap for Team CC, Light Gaming, JWJ, second hit before NightGod finds him. And this is still winnable for Team CC, as now, though, they've lost their Orisa player.
Light Gaming looking like they're going to clean up here. It is going to be a flip momentarily, but still the supports for CC hanging in there for the time being and looking like they're going to dive in. They're still trying to find the kill on V612 in the back.
Just trying to stabilize here is Roshan keeping that shield up, and having that shield just means the supports have a safer place to go when the fight starts to get a little chaotic. And because CC lost Fearless so early, there was no protection for CC. So JWJ, with those early kills, was able to get that good advantage, the 37%, but Light Gaming is the one that cleans up.
So we see Light Gaming, I mean, this is literal counter picks across the board, right? JWJ Bunny coming out on May, and McCree is literally to try to deal with NightGod on the Pharah or the Doomfist, and so far it's still a difficulty for them.
And you have the Nano given to NightGod, he still gets killed, 1v6. He will not be immortal. But I'm liking this kind of element Mystic Stride of having the Zarya with the Doomfist, so we can give that bubble. Now Deadeye behind the shield or to the side of it. Into the amplification matrix doesn't really find much, but CC now taking care of that shield of Light Gaming. Able to take this one back slowly but surely. Far away with two. No supports for Light Gaming to recontest. Control back to CC.
The other side here too, Light Gaming, by playing this Zarya, that's really going to allow NightGod to be enabled as well, because they know CC is trying to counter this. They're bringing out the McCree, they're bringing out the May pick as well. You have Fearless able to pull NightGod around, so Unai with the barrier is going to be able to help him get in there. And he's going to need that because he's that aggressor. He's the person diving in deep every single time, and there he goes.
And he gets the bubble as an extra insurance, but if he gets halted out of position, that kit, as soon as Doomfist kit's gone, so will he, and NightGod eliminated first. He's going to be the playmaker and also the biggest risk for Light Gaming. As they try to flip things around with a grab, they've lost their Honor, McCree, and more. So despite the grab, thinking it was going to be the heroic play, it will not. And CC now reaching 80+%.
And now with the Blizzard down, Light Gaming has an opening, especially as they're coming up on some ultimates here. They don't have the grab, but they have everything else that they should need to be able to flip this point. CC looks like they're going to try to wall them off of it as they do approach.
Oh yeah, this can actually stop them from touching. So you can see the Lucio trying to go from the side. The zoning from the Deadeye stops Bunny. But Light Gaming do manage to touch now. Is this going to be the fight they can take? Still taking care of the supercharger. See a double kill, and you love the name to go along with a fantastic ultimate to possibly end this. But NightGod with two, it's actually winnable. Fortify tries to protect him from some of the damage NightGod is putting out. He's putting on a ruckus onto this, keeping this fight somehow alive for Light Gaming, but he needs the supports, and B612 was too low to keep the support and the healing coming. Now you only have Lucio heals, NightGod not getting enough support. For Light Gaming, still have three approaching, but they step off of it just long enough for CC to cap that first round, 100-39.
That was a good pick for Dizzy, starting that fight off, being able to take down Bunny, make sure that they weren't going to be able to wall them off of the point at that stage, but unfortunately for them, they needed just a little bit more, especially Bunny was able to come back on the Doomfist and actually match NightGod and be able to start dealing with the pressures on the point as well, just clear Light Gaming off of it. That was such a good swap from Bunny to actually make going off of the main. Now though, CC moving on to Sanctum here, swapping a little bit up here. I mean, Bunny going on to the May. CC actually implementing JWJ on his signature pick of the Pharah as well. Gonna have a lot of pressure for Light Gaming to deal with.
coming out the gates. Both teams relying on that Orisa play where we saw a lot more pressure on Fearless on that first round. And like I said before, having that stability of being able to behind a shield, that's where B612 and someone like Mizuki might fall back to. Or Mizuki can also fall back to JWJ, who popped on the McCree, now onto the Pharah. Now have to see if he can break the shield.
And you're going to see JWJ just pushing in chip damage, trying to really be oppressive onto that tank line as much as they possibly can. Mizuki's going to be safe from Night God in this composition as well, so as long as they LOS away from Dizzy, they're safe.
Oh, the long range punch! oh my god. See, if I would have done that, I would have fell off the map straight up. But still, first pick, but trades still as Night God going in for more, displacing them and also getting them off the map. Thankfully, I think that person was able to stay on. But Dizzy has to be also the one that protects his team with those stuns if any dives were to come in or anything from JWJ were to come in. But Team CC stabilized, amplification matrix, shield. Roshan the only one there, Dizzy by his side, but not enough damage to pierce through CC. As thankfully they were able to keep Fearless up and they'll hold on to the point as well.
Yeah, CC, their tank line is just so stable, especially with Sia really kind of locking in those tank picks. They haven't had to rely on Sia as much on the DPS selection since picking Bunny up for Innovation, so he's been really kind of providing quite a bit of synergy alongside Fearless, and you can see that come into fruition here in this matchup, helping them against Light Gaming.
Dizzy has to just, have a presence, right? Just put enough pressure on the JWJ. Best case scenario, use Deadeye and kill him. That'll be kind of your guarantee. Hey, maybe you can even get Mizuki. But you have to land all your shots, or Mizuki's just going to heal JWJ up. And with a barrage, this will just annihilate this shield. Already not a great start when you lost your Zarya, and more is happening. This is just lights out for CC so far on Sanctum.
Yeah, Light Gaming really going to need to rely on the grab in this next fight. CC, on the other hand, they could just ward them off, right? I mean, they have the Blizzard, they have the Barrage, there's tons of combinations for them to utilize, as well as damage boosts that they can rely on as well. So Light Gaming, if they're not able to deal with JWJ or Bunny, oh, that's a big pick.
Oh, no. Now CC, no shield to stand behind. You can't res someone that's followed into hell. So Light Gaming have all the ultimates to keep this one going. It's going to be Night God. And how this nano maybe from B612 is going to do something, but JWJ got something in Barrage, not what he was looking for. Light Gaming have taken back control, now pushing them back as CC slow things down with their Mei, but losing too much. CC with, that 6 ult advantage only had to use 2, and now they give up control.
That was a really clean fight for Light Gaming to just kind of dive in there and basically take Fearless out of the fight completely right out of the start. So CC now coming into this next fight again, have that Blizzard still. Bunny held onto that in the last engagement, so they could actually just try to close this gap between them and Light Gaming, holding, catch those 2 or 3 kills that they need to get that momentum in their back pocket and basically just play off of that.
That could have been a sick combination of Night God knocking everyone up and then having the Deadeye hit. Sentry giving that barrier wasn't enough to necessarily push the point. As you see, the support's already down, and with the 2-2, you only have 2 to rely on. So Light Gaming, no resources. 96+% for Team CC, using that self-destruct, completely zoning off the point. Night God will be there to touch in time, even find Sia through the immortality. Unai, 1v1 versus the Orisa not happening. Hammond on the point from Roshan. Again, it's Light Gaming desperately trying to hold on to this. They do manage to get the flip. JWJ more focused on the pillar side. And all in the back of Night God kind of frontlining for the team. Light Gaming stay alive for the moment.
Still trying to deal with this Hammond player. It looks like he's going to save himself. Oh, not for too much longer though. Light Gaming, they really need to start getting onto this point, start putting pressure forward and see if they can deal with CC. Otherwise, CC, they're just going to be able to walk right onto this and steal it back.
And you also have to protect your supports. I mean, JWJ's making it hard to just come out of these doorways. Nano given over to someone to survive on the point, hopefully is starting to flip things over. Light Gaming need to keep this one alive. But CC haven't dropped any members. Barrage does get slapped, but B612 is still traded out. No resources left for Light Gaming, as it's now up to Night God or someone to touch this point. He goes in, gets stunned immediately. So much CC from the team itself, as that will be the 2-0 on Nepal. Start our first map of the quarterfinal.
And this is picture-perfect representation of what our expectations were looking like going into this matchup. Night God very aggressive on the Doomfist pick, followed up, of course, by Dizzy as well.
CC have a great start. We're bringing back our expert analyst, Nekkra. What did you think of the first 2 rounds?
I think it's safe to say at this point from that first map that Team CC is winning that DPS battle. And a lot of that has to do with their target priority. We saw a couple of times where Team CC was focusing down Unai, who was playing Zarya, and it made it really difficult for Light Gaming to actually build up to that Graviton, which could have been a complete game changer. So I think that Team CC, well on their way to kicking off this series, but something that I did notice that I would love to see Light Gaming adjust to is that we had Night God going in very aggressively into the backline of Team CC. And while oftentimes that did start with a pick, there wasn't any follow-up there. So I think there needs to be a little bit more space created by that front line of Light Gaming so that their DPS can just pop off.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of been the story of Light Gaming over the past couple of weeks, especially where Night God has been relied upon to really kind of dive in and actually get favorable trades. I mean, not just dive in and get a 1-for-1, but be able to find multiple targets and get those kills, or at least someone that's pivotal, like having an Ana taken down or a Zen taken down with their ultimates up, something like that. Light Gaming has really relied on that, and I think they're going to continue to do that here, for better or for worse, but at least they're now investing quite a bit more resources into him to try to make that happen.
Well, that first map of Nepal went so cleanly for CC, the Pharah, the McCree, but Nekkra, do you think that the McCree and the Mei was slowing Night God down, or what else do CC have to do to shut that down?
I actually think that Team CC was doing a great job of playing around Night God's Doomfist. And one of the things that I noticed was that Farway, star support player, seemed to know when to switch off of mostly healing the team to protect them, but they really did understand kind of when to pump out the pressure there. So let's say Bunny did get taken down because Night God started to target him. Then Farway was there to be able to push out that damage on Batiste, and it worked out really well.
Well, highlights were great. JWJ's great. So is CC up 1-0 in the series. We're going to send it to a quick break, and when we get back, it will be Assault. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the quarterfinal between Team CC and Light Gaming. We have our second map of Volskaya. Remember, it is the loser that gets to pick the map. Winner gets to pick the side. So Light Gaming have decided to bring us to Volskaya.
Yeah, this is such a good pick for Light Gaming. Not only has this been a pick that has basically seen CC struggling on over the course of the season, even lately as well, but I mean, really, this is a pick that allows Dizzy to shine on the Widowmaker in that 1v1 matchup against Bunny, where I think this is a huge win condition for them.
Yeah, it's not... I mean, if you're a CC fan, you're maybe not feeling too hot about them in this map. They've never won this map. Volskaya, they've lost to BBG and got full held by Flag Gaming. So Light Gaming clearly coming into this with their studies done. Right? No, going into their worst map. This is how Light Gaming start to tie up the series.
Yeah, I mean, again, the big comeback potential here for Light Gaming, I mean, the entire win condition here is to try to allow Night God to be aggressive, to allow Dizzy to take the Widow 1v1. And if Dizzy can be permitted to pull that off, I mean, certainly going onto maps where you expect to see Bunny on these selections, this is a good pick for Light Gaming. I would expect that on point A, they actually look very solid here. Could shut down CC, really kind of pull a lot of their time bank away and shut down that momentum going into point B. We know how important that is, especially on the Assault map type. And really, I mean, CC, because of, not even just because of Volskaya, but just on Assault in general, this hasn't been really their map type. I mean, even with Bunny in the lineup, they haven't looked yet as solid as we would expect them to on this map type.
Yeah, for Light Gaming, they're okay. You know, 2 and 3 on overall Assault. They're just okay. It's CC though. I mean, on this map, overall they're 2 and 3 as well. But CC, like I said, have never won Volskaya, so definitely have figured out Paris, but not this one. But my more question coming into this in a 2-2-2 setting, right? Maybe we can kind of ignore what we've seen in the regular season because it's completely different compositions for most of these teams. But JWJ clearly found his strides with the Far, completely countering Night God. The Doomfist can't really do much except that one time where he like air fisted him while JWJ kind of got low to the ground. But if maybe Light Gaming decide to go double sniper, this is how they deal with JWJ's Pharah.
Yeah, I think this is a really good pick for them here, because as long as Night God can put some kind of pressure down onto Bunny, Dizzy can then focus a lot of his sightlines actually to try to find JWJ, put pressure onto Mizuki as well. And that, again, I mean, he doesn't even have to win the Widow duel versus Bunny, but even though that may be the case, as long as there's pressure being exerted on Bunny, that's still a victory for Light Gaming, because they can rely on Dizzy to actually take shots behind the shield. You probably will actually see Light Gaming playing more Orisa D.Va today, as opposed to the Orisa Hog that we're likely to get out of Team CC. And because of that, they're going to play slower, try to get Night God into a position where he's going to play aggressively, like we saw in that first map of Nepal. And again, just rely on Dizzy to have the follow-through.
And as we look at the standings, right, I'm a statistics kind of gal, right? So Team CC first place, 12 and 10, 12 maps won, 10 maps lost. Light Gaming, 8 maps won, 13 maps lost. So despite Light Gaming being lower in the standings, their map differential isn't that different. So don't expect always the first place to beat the fourth place team. Light Gaming can still bring this back. They will be on the defense to start, and it will be the double sniper that we were maybe expecting, but it's also matched by CC's double sniper. So JWJ not risking the Pharah off the bat.
Yeah, so the Orisa Hog versus the Orisa D.Va, well, there's the opening pick, and that's the value that you get out of the Hog. If you can get those halt hooks rolling, that's going to create a really high-tempo offense for CC. That's going to roll right on through.
I'm a little surprised there isn't a mercy, at least on the defense. You like that forgiveness when these picks go through. As soon as those first picks did happen, CC walked onto the point and got it for free. And this is pretty dangerous on Volskaya, because then you have like a 6-year time bank to get point B. And this is where you go into rounds and extra rounds and extra rounds. Light Gaming, though, this is how they slow down the pace of this game.
Just really going to have to rely on the window to drop in from Century, utilizing that amplification matrix to really put that pressure down, try to win out that shield trade, and open things up for Dizzy.
Oh, and both snipers are down for CC. And this is maybe can be hard with an Orisa. It's not like a Reinhardt where you can keep moving around your shield as snipers take different positions. So at least you have the pick potential of the snipers and the halt hook from the Orisa Hog. But if the snipers start to surround you, I'm wondering how CC are going to adapt.
Yeah, I think CC, they really need to get a really solid focus on timing that turn on the corner, get that pivot, really put pressure down on the shield, try to get the defense matrix actually pulled out as soon as possible. Otherwise, Bunny, he's just not going to have an opening.
Oh, the amp matrix can be kind of nasty though. There, they're dragging straight right through the mid. There is the immortality field, just to save him for the moment. CC though, did get that one pick, but their spots are so much farther. What a hook! Getting the sniper from the sniper's nest, now trying to work on breaking down that shield. Take care of the DPS, but they will be back pretty soon. Another hook goes through. I think that was a fortify. But he transcended. He's from B612. Not much happening to be deserving of that healing, but still, CC kind of waited out.
Oh, and yet another pick rolling in now as we see Night God taken out. Still, though, Light Gaming just destroying them as they try to approach the point.
Need to destroy all that damage coming from the defense. They had the Supercharger and Amp Matrix. And Dizzy has been owning these Widow duels against Bunny. And this is like Owl player Bunny versus Dizzy, who had maybe kind of a shorter history, shorter resume than that. But still, it's all about what you do in playoffs. And Light Gaming just need to hold for 4 more minutes.
Yeah, much like the player that he took over for in Huey's, I mean, Dizzy really only having experience playing with Light Gaming in previous iterations of Light Gaming back in like 2017. So to see him show out right now against a previously Owl player in Bunny is insane.
And this is a lot of good shield pressure from CC using that Supercharger at the back. Doesn't find much. CC were already far forward, way farther forward. Dragging right down the mid, splits the attacking team. A second tick goes through. Light Gaming now switching to their desperate picks. There's the Hammond to spin to win, but CC are still clearing things up. They've lost Bunny in the process. Not a huge deal. You just gotta focus on JWJ carrying this. Bunny will be back as the Tracer shortly. Light Gaming kind of trying to pick their backline, but haven't found success. Dizzy should be losing this duel, but JWJ not cleaning it up until Bunny joins the rescue party. CC now, Transcendence on the field, still in firm control of the point, and Light Gaming, I think they've given this one up now.
Still, I mean, despite Light Gaming really showing off what they're capable of on that point B defense, we saw them, I mean, they basically crumbled under the pressure of CC's front line in that first fight, and because of that, eventually we still saw Team CC coming away with a basically 3-minute time bank. That's a lot of time to work with for CC.
And like I said, I think maybe the defense would have been nice just to have that Mercy, not for the damage boost, more for the resurrections, because the immortality, it didn't come out before the headshots happened. So there was no saving for that. But now when it came to point B, I think what CC did, they used a supercharger, broke down the shield, kind of set up camp on point B, and were able to keep up that momentum. I did like a bit of the flank that Light Gaming, I think it was Dizzy, that went around towards the back, see if they can catch supports, but JWJ, great awareness from him.
Yeah, Light Gaming, I like the adaptation that we're seeing from them. I would have agreed with you actually on that point A defense that it would have been actually pretty interesting to see the Mercy in play there. Not only would you have been really enabling Dizzy in a big way to be able to land, you know, maybe a little bit more body shot action or really put the pressure down when he does land those headshots, even onto tank players. But I think the big aspect would be able to get those reses like you talked about. So I definitely agree on their defense. Now here though on the attack, this is where they really hold fast to that setup, really rely on Unai on the Diva as well. And I think that, you know, with this adaptation being made, going with the Rissa Diva, they really need to make sure that they're dealing with those halts, make sure that the defense matrix is used for those so that CC can't get those free setups like we've been seeing them get.
Those were some really clean halt hooks from CC. They did get a few picks with C as we go into the next round, but it's all about also making sure you break down the shield and not just take care of the DPS, especially on that defense. So, Light Gaming on the attack this time. CC with a pretty decent time bank of 3 minutes. Light Gaming were able to slow down a lot of that bleeding, but it's still now up to the double sniper from the attack, but May comes out again from Bunny.
Yeah, and this is a big adjustment, actually. JWJ on the Widow here. Dizzy was just so solid, and you can see them trying to really kind of take down those sight lines, and Bunny down again on the May. Now 65 advantage to Light Gaming.
I always kind of laugh when the May is the first one to die too, because you got Ice Block, you got a lot of protection as that hero, but there is a Mercy on that defense, but not a resable position whatsoever, as Dizzy just spot that Widow, gonna call it out to his team. There is a follow-up onto JWJ, hidden away from the rest of the team. So now, 2 ticks for Light Gaming, but now without an Orisa player, they're gonna be a lot more susceptible to the halt hooks, to JWJ, and a lot more. Light Gaming, looking like they're not giving this one up, they're just playing a little bit more safe until their Orisa can do that.
And we can see these angles taken by the snipers here for Light Gaming. Despite the kills coming out for CC, it's going to be so difficult to get a retake here. Light Gaming just very much in control at the moment.
Oh, and great Dragon almost sealed off both supports in that area. As a one-man transcendence, the one-man army from B612, still enough to keep this point going, giving himself immortality. Almost with his own ultimate, no pun intended with the Baptiste, but almost the final take. It was a bit scrappier than Light Gaming would have liked, and they used a few more ultimates than they would have liked, but still, the job was done just as quick as Team CC did it.
Now we see Light Gaming getting that quick take, now moving on towards point B, again relying on those 2 snipers. We saw Nightgod with that aggressive position to try to get that double angle with the snipers that you really need. I mean, you need to have that flank control when you're talking about playing this particular type of composition, especially against the May.
And that wall, yeah, you can try and get that isolation. That's a great pick potential. There's already one fallen through the cracks of the ice wall. But JWJ has just not only a great mechanical player, but great awareness to know where all these angles the other Widow is coming from. And as soon as he has that information, it feels like CC deny that value.
Also, self-destruct going down just to try to open things up. Sia goes down 6v5 for Light Gaming here.
Amplification Matrix 2 from CC, so just trying to slow down that bleeding, have the extra damage, find more picks, break down the shield of the Orisa that it's going to keep setting up. So you can see Light Gaming playing very far forward, winning those sniper duels. CC, even with Supercharger, even with a Valkyrie, they cannot stop the attack from Light Gaming. They cannot stop the storm from coming. Dizzy's popping off, even finding the Mercy. Now up in a sniper nest, he's going to stop everyone from coming back in, looking for the final take. One last contest from a Hammond. Now, maybe Bunny on the Doomfist. It won't be much longer. And I think maybe a 1-minute advantage for Light Gaming on the time banks.
Yeah, and Light Gaming looking phenomenal right now as well on that 2-2-2 split, playing with the double sniper. Excited to see this continue.
Excited to have Nekrich back just in the middle of rounds for a quick thought. Nekrich, what'd you think of that first round of attacks?
I think that Heurix really hit it on the nose there. The double sniper is such a strong composition for Light Gaming, and they're faring a lot better with that than they did on that control map. The aggressive positioning, the flanking that we're seeing from Dizzy and Night God, it's been playing to Light Gaming's strengths, and they're able to capitalize on it. So something clicked for them, and I want to see them take that double sniper all the way to the end.
Yeah, and on top of that, we're also seeing the Diva being brought in as well. I mean, I really think that this is enabling them to a high degree because they're able to deal with the pressures coming from CC, slowly get into those flanking positions that Nekkra was talking about, and start getting into those angles where they're freely able to take shots, really put the pressure down, because Sia is simply not able to deal with it in the same capacity as a Diva would be because he's on the Hog.
As we thank Nekkra for coming in between rounds, we'll be heading into the next attack shortly. Very similar time banks, the 1 minute advantage. I think it was 3 minutes versus 4 minutes. But also, Heurix, what did you think of the Mei from Bunny? So not matching the double sniper, did you think the Mei was able to add to their defense?
I think the Mei was really just about shutting down sightlines. It felt like they weren't really winning out in that duel on the shield trade, and on top of that, because of that, rather, Bunny wasn't able to win against Dizzy. So switching things up, they incorporate something that allows them to have more openings. They can kind of control those shield trades, just control the sightlines as well. Now it looks like they're going to go back to it though. Double sniper, and we see the Zenyatta's on both sides as well.
No mercy into play, so all these picks are going to be mattering. No res, halt up into the air, Fortify blocks the hook, but still. You can see Team CC now. They have some time. They can squeeze out a few fights here, but don't want to waste too much time. It's all that high ground position. JWJ gets halted, and a great follow from Light Gaming, and even more. CC, halt hook, finds Night God. Both Hanzos out of the picture. CC already using Immortality just to make sure they can heal up and not die to any more headshots from the other side. Now CC can move up their shield with the Amp Matrix from both sides. It was actually Light Gaming that got a lucky shot onto Bunny. And now I don't think CC want to move up on this.
That was a good counter on the Ant Matrix that came out there from Century, but Light Gaming going to have to continue this pace now to be able to continue to be able to dish out the pressure, push CC back. Despite a lot of that pick potential, CC is known for this, very pick heavy, very pressure heavy as well, in a lot of their compositions that they've been playing as of late.
Now holds up into the air, finds Unite, insta-DMAC, good start for CC. Now going with the Supercharger Whole Hog Transcendence, they have the tools. But again, point A is all about not having to use those. You want to save them for the harder point to push, which is point B. Light Gaming, Transcendence, trapping CC. But Sia gonna break out of it with a Whole Hog Transcendence to make sure he is unkillable. And that's where CC rolled through with all these ultimates, even including the Supercharger for the extra damage. Clean team wipe in the last minute of the game. CC will get point A.
And now it's going to be a reliance on that Halt Dragon. If CC is going to be able to capture this next point, they're going to get that extra 30 seconds, move on into that final stage of this map here. And again, really huge reliance on being able to pull that Immortality field out from Century, set up the Halt Dragon, and get that team wipe.
Now Halt Dragon from both sides too, and it's when do you pull this trigger? I mean, CC still have to close a bit of a gap here. Halt. Light Gaming don't go for the hook. Ooh, they're too far away. Halt and hook on the other side, misses. There's that first dragon from the defense. No halt. CC separated at the moment, but not much following up from that. Now it's going to be up to the Halt Dragon of CC to see if they can break through the defense.
Yeah, try to set up the Ant Matrix, throw down the Immortality field. It's down. Now you can go for the Halt Dragon right after.
And they're stuck into a tiny corridor. Throws it up in there. Halt, self-destruct to stop the follow-up. Wasn't looking for, at least the Hulk didn't pull them into the Hungry Dragon, but still, you've zoned them off completely to the right side. CC going forward, getting the hook, but losing Sia early. Again, this is a big hero for your Halt hooks, a big hero for your CC. Now, Bunny winning that Widow duel off to the side. We will get dove on from Unai. The last couple seconds, CC are there to touch, but definitely not the fight they were looking for. Transcendence guides the Hammond and the rest back onto the point. But Light Gaming with the immortality, it's also in a position where they can't shoot the Frisbee as well. So because of that extra healing, the extra survivability, Light Gaming will hold on to this defense against CC.
Yeah, that's set up. Really needed to see the Halt Dragon coming in there. We saw the Immortality field come out very early from Century, but despite that, CC not able to get the whole setup, get that team wipe. They got Unai pretty low outside of Mech. Being able to shut him down on the D.Va could have been a huge opening for them, but unfortunately for them, not able to pull those two things together. At least, though, there's the silver lining of the fact that they did claim point A at the very least.
Yeah, it was tough when you already lose members so early and your Halt Dragon, like your winning combination doesn't work. See it dropping early, then you don't have as much shield pressure. You only have to rely on the snipers to take angles. And when the defense were on just the right side, there were really no angles for the snipers to take. So it was up to shield pressure, not enough coming from the attack. So point B, not going to happen.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that the shield pressure game is definitely kind of swaying in favor of Light Gaming. We're seeing CC get a lot of openings off of their Halt hooks, but outside of that, Light Gaming really pressuring down shields, making sure that Fearless is taking some fire, making sure that Bunny has to take off angles. He's not able to take pot shots from behind the Orisa shield, and that has kind of slowed down the pace of some of these attacks from CC. Even when they do get an opening pick, they're still slow on their approach because Light Gaming has that much damage, has that much shield pressure that CC has to deal with.
And also for that attack, I mean, you used like 3 or 4 ultimates just for point A. So then you had to kind of work back on that ult economy for the first minute of point B. So maybe having those extra ults would have been a faster or maybe a more successful point B approach, having 2 rounds of ult economy. But now up to Light Gaming, having just 1 extra minute over CC to get to point B. Remember, CC have never won this map before in the regular season. This is where Light Gaming, the winning condition is set, how they can tie up the series.
Dizzy looking for those picks. Already Fearless down, though, so Dizzy doesn't have to worry about that shield. He can just go ham at the moment.
Snipers who? JWJ ain't scared of your Widow or Hanzo or D.Va. Okay, now he's dead. Now he's a little scared. But Mizuki can't go for that res either, especially with snipers on the field. Especially when you have a Hammond and no Orisa that can help you go through that. At least there is a Matrix. So thankfully, C was able to protect Mizuki for that. Now almost a second tick going through for Light Gaming. CC trying to work on that control.
That was such a good amp matrix from far away to just solidify that kill. That creates an opening for them. Now they can just start surrounding this tank line and see if they can start finding those kills on CC, but we'll have to see if they can get it done.
I mean, JWJ was busy guarding the door when the enemy was already in his backline, so almost the 3rd tick. JWJ now focusing his attention, but now a self-destruct. This is going to be rough. How does he get out? He manages to, but until Dizzy finds him now onto the soldier. But CC have at least stopped the war from happening, and Light Gaming won't get that 3rd tick.
Yeah, shutting down Dizzy in that last fight was so huge. Far Away just invested the Ant Matrix to make sure that they got that in the 1v1 and just deleted that Widow player immediately. So now Light Gaming swapping things around just a little bit here. Dizzy going over to McCree just to have a more perfect answer for JWJ and certainly be able to deal with some of the pressures as Fearless dives in deep as well. They can get the stun, shut Fearless down.
Oh, there's a self-destruct from CC into the back. I think they were still pushing hallway. Somehow Dizzy still dies to that. But still, it's a 1-to-1. No Far, no McCree from either side. Immortality's dealt with, and there is CC taking over this fight. Even with the transcendence of Light Gaming, they're not playing grouped up enough, not benefiting from the heals. Still, P612 is alive. There's 3 left of Light Gaming now, too. They will not get this final tick in this fight. And a minute and a half left. They don't have a lot of time to do it.
And with time dwindling right now, it seems like CC might actually be able to get one here on Volskaya. It's been something that they've struggled with over the course of the season, and finally here in playoffs, they might be able to pull one out. Light Gaming now, they've been rotating Dizzy around several different picks, and now back over to the McCree as they're going for that same setup that we saw them start with, but they really need to make sure that they're utilizing Unai to protect Dizzy. They need to protect the McCree so that they can actually set up the kill onto JWJ, put that pressure down, and then also when Fearless dives in, they have that available with the flashbang.
Oh, the mines perfectly. It cuts out that left side. So now, well, they just go towards the right side. But still, that could have found some easy picks onto the supports. Light Gaming. Now focusing on multiple angles, a little bit to the left, a little bit on top. Team CC, having the Valkyrie in the sky, you have that extra resources. Now you got to take care of that immortality that's so well placed, it's hard to get at. And Sia in the back takes care of just some utility. Light Gaming, still haven't had any progress to get anything going. It's always the first picks for Team CC in these fights.
It's 15 seconds remaining. That's all you have if you're Light Gaming and pushing in. Now you have to deal with the barrage as well.
Oh, B612, or someone was able to counter a JWJ. That is the raid boss, but resurrected back into this fight. CC have more numbers, Light Gaming, more healing, and you need to do the most that you can with this as Dizzy sprints the marathon back to point A to help his team. And this is how you pressure JWJ. This is how you need to take this fight in overtime. It has to happen now, or going down 0-2 is not the way they want to do it, but so far, so good. Light Gaming, with the 4-something minutes they had to get point A, but now only 30 seconds to get 33%.
Yeah, that last fight, a lesser team would have called that dead right there. Light Gaming, not one of those types of teams. They're able to keep that fight alive, keep the dream alive here on Volskaya. They've got one shot at this. Not a lot of ultimates to play around with, but CC very much in the same boat. Have to be able to deal with JWJ on that Genji. This is a very strong pick for him.
Yeah, even the Moira for extra healing, someone has to touch. Light Gaming still surviving, chasing after the Hammond. They need to play together. They need to play perfect, get that supercharger up and work on these kills. They've now put CC up towards the right side, taking care of Bunny, but now need to heal up. Sia leaves a self-destruct behind the shield of Light Gaming. And now you've lost Night God. A biotic hits 3 members of Light Gaming. They're still alive, but now you have no Orisa. You only need 33% self-destruct. Coalescence. It's starting to happen for Light Gaming. They pushed off CC. They're barely alive and touching. There's only a Lucio. The 10 crucial seconds CC need. Even a Boostio on the field. Are you kidding me? But a very fast Bunny, yes, is on the field as Tracer. Now you have Emergency Hammond. The Mind could find a lucky kill. Just enough for CC to stop this from happening. Light Gaming, though, they're still in this.
And it looks like Night God, if he can find this kill onto JWJ, that things will open up for them. And it's looking good. Mizuki going to be dealt with as well.
The last 33%, oh my god, Night God just head-fisted himself into a mine, still not dying. The guy is unkillable, and so is Light Gaming. Just one last contest. There is always somebody left. The last person may be a diva, but there you have it. Light Gaming in overtime get point A, 30 seconds to get 33%, and they will tie the series against Team CC.
And to think, too, about point A, again, that would have been a dead fight, but Light Gaming would not let that go, and they did exactly the same on point B as well.
The impossible has happened. We're going to bring back our expert analyst, Nekkra. I just want to know, did you think Light Gaming were going to win that?
Honestly, at that very first start of the round, I really was rooting for Team CC there. I think that they had total control over it, especially because JWD was just hitting shots that they really needed to in order to take control of the situation. But when it all changed, it was when Light Gaming decided to put more resources into focusing down JWJ. They switched over to the Moira for that point B, and they made just some excellent switches and predictions to be able to take it home. That last fight was nuts. I'm so excited that we got a chance to see that, and it leaves Team CC without a win on Volskaya still.
Yeah, so that does continue. The tradition extends now. But, I mean, even still, we saw the Moira pick come out. We saw a lot of sustain being given over. We saw that Coalescence come out almost instantly. But really, I kind of liked the setup from CC. We saw Faraway go over to the Ana. We saw that Biotic Grenade come out. A lot of really low targets for Light Gaming for CC, but they're just not able to find those kills. And because of that, Light Gaming was able to basically kind of coalesce, come back together, and just be able to find that sustainability and restructure around that Moira.
And here you can see on your highlights the first couple of attacks where both Hull Dragons missed, but you can see that CC kind of changed their approach a little bit. Even Light Gaming, like you guys mentioned, the Moira, and even the Hammond to match the Orisa, which I don't think was on the menu, but it still worked out.
I think a lot of it for the tank line specifically, Team CC did a great job in Nepal of creating space for the DPS to pop off, but I think Light Gaming threw them a curveball when a lot of their DPS flanked, and then on that round, they just decided, you know what, we're gonna just go straight at you. So throwing a little bit of a wrench into those plans.
Well, Light Gaming have certainly thrown a wrench into CC's series so far. It is a tie game. It is first to 3. It is the quarterfinals, and we're going to see you guys after this quick break. Welcome back. We got a tie game between Team CC and Light Gaming. Oh, I came down to a close one, everybody. Volskaya, CC still quite defeated on that map. And now it's the loser that gets to pick the next one. So CC have decided to bring us to King's Row.
Yeah, King's Row is an interesting pick here. CC, I would imagine that the case is that Bunny wants to completely remove himself from that Widow duel, incorporate the Mei that I feel like they're far more comfortable on, especially in this matchup against Light Gaming, where we're not expecting to see as much Mei from this kind of team, this roster in Light Gaming. Certainly, they want to play more of that kind of 2-2-2 split, utilizing the double sniper. That's where they're at their most comfortable. CC, on the other hand, you're going to see them relying on Mei. You're going to see them relying on even Pharah at times, I think. And we could see quite a bit of Hanzo as well from JWJ in this match.
But also my map stats. You know, I'm a stats chick. I got my calculator, the one that doesn't exist in my hand. As when it comes to King's Row, everybody, CC look good on it. Light Gaming have never won it. So this is both teams picking each other's worst maps to potentially take the series, just like Light Gaming picked Volskaya and then won it against CC, who never won it on King's Row. CC picked King's Row because Light Gaming have never won it. So maybe we'll see if this follows the script going into this match.
And it's funny too, because if you think about it, going into playoffs, I mean, these teams are playing things that are different than what we saw in the group stage. It just so happens to be the fact that what is basically strong on these maps is going to continue into playoffs despite the 2-2-2 role lock change that is coming in. So CC playing into this, I mean, if you even throw out all the past history on the map pools, this is still a really good pick for CC. So they're very smart. I mean, it's two-pronged in that facet because of the fact that CC is going to look good on the Mei. They're going to look good on the Hanzo if they pull that out. And Light Gaming, it seems like they've struggled on this map already. That could continue.
And speaking of looking good, I mean, we were talking in the break that Dizzy looking kind of hot right now. I mean, talking about his Widowmaker against Bunny, where we said, okay, very short resume versus very long resume. And that's not to disrespect anyone here, but you thought that Bunny was going to kind of stand on top of Dizzy, and it's been the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, Bunny certainly far more renowned on his Tracer as opposed to his Widowmaker. You saw, you know, even when they were on Valorant, you saw other players playing the Widowmaker. He was typically on that flanking role that you saw him often playing. And really, I think CC are going to rely on him for that specifically, and then also on the Mei throughout this matchup. And I think Light Gaming, knowing this, they really want to make sure that Dizzy, who has been playing basically McCree Widow his entire career at this stage, and certainly there is a gap in that career, but it dates all the way back to 2016, 2017. So that's quite a bit of veteranship for them to rely on, for them to fall back on, for Dizzy to be able to land those shots, especially when they're able to invest so much resources into allowing Dizzy to find those angles as well.
And this is our first real showing of 2-2-2 from both these teams. Just to remind everyone, the lock is in for playoffs. You're here to see it. The double sniper, the sniper Pharah, the Mei stuff. You're here and they're here. And this is kind of challenging for some teams to be forced to have 2 supports, to be forced to only have 2 tanks. Because then this weekend's maybe your support line not having 3. Maybe this weekend's your tank line not having 3 tanks. So both teams adjusting to this. We're Light Gaming keeping themselves alive and actually neck and neck with CC with that Volskaya win.
And now as we move on to King's Row, we can kind of already see what we're going to get out of this attacking phase right now, where it looks like we do have that Widow in play, Ana coming out as well. And as we look to see how these teams are going to open up, you can see that Bunny, JWJ, it's actually going to be the Genji on the attack for now, as it looks like he's going to be swapping probably over to the Hanzo, and that is indeed the case. So again, that halt hook potential for CC. Light Gaming still playing around the Diva, Unai, looking to stabilize that front line.
Oh, and that shield just instantly broken for Light Gaming. But at least they have a zone. They can step back towards the right side, use that line of sight to stay in hotel, not in a hotel, but to wait for the shield to get back up. But they also can't be playing too passive. But oh, a sick shot from Dizzy. Damn, he's getting body blocked from his teammates. Has to just literally halt above them or grapple above them to find more line of sight. But Light Gaming, although their shield broke first, it will be them slowing the pace of the game.
Yeah, this matchup right here, playing this corner, playing the statue, Light Gaming, they want to pressure shield. CC wants to pull people up above the shield, get that halt hook, get that kill, step onto the point, but Dizzy has just been such a menace behind this shield right now. It's been tough for them to deal with.
Yeah, halt and hook, it's more like Duck Hunt, where you halt everyone up and you go fire, and then the snipers get it. But missing that shot at the start here, not a big deal. Team CC getting their shield very far forward. There's a halt hook onto the back teeth, and I think this Immortality Matrix saved them for the moment, but 2 for JWJ. And now this is where they can advance. No Orisa standing in their way, but a great dragon from Night God. Not for kills, but more for the zoning, pushing CC off the point temporarily. Another halt and hook, or even just a halt enough to get Unai out of mech. Great technical plays from CC. This will unlock the payload for them.
That was really actually interesting to see that, because CC, they were down on the defense matrix, but we saw JWJ just spamming through it as Light Gaming came around that corner, and they exposed themselves where they really thought they were going to be able to out-pressure CC, just not the case. And now Bunny actually swapping over to the Ashe, and this is a very linear portion of the map where Ashe is going to have a lot of value tossing in those dynamites over the top.
Shield broken for Light Gaming. Immortality, I like the use of the Baptiste just to give you a few more seconds to get that shield back up in case you're not able to get out of line of sight. But still, it's always their shield breaking first, but CC not getting much distance or not getting much pressure out of it. Amp Matrix for the offense, looking for hooks. Light Gaming, their snipers playing very far back, seeing if they can find some shots as CC are focused on the front line. But now you gotta worry about Supercharger Whole Hog or maybe even Halt Hooks. That's enough for CC to get some momentum here.
And you can see Bunny trying to get around that corner. As soon as they get away from this choke point, they can start pushing forward, but there's the dragon.
Pretty sick, actually, from both sides. There was a dragon. Only one for the defense. CC around the corner. Sia playing peekaboo. Going for the hook on the other wrist. That just can't happen. But still, I don't know how Sia died. That should have been his, but great peel from not only the Zen, but the snipers of the defense. Amp Matrix used at the end of the fight there, but CC resetting.
Yeah, the instant Amp Matrix to make sure that they could win that duel out. Make sure that Sia goes down before he's able to get that follow-up melee. And now CC really struggling in this section of the map here, and Bunny taken down immediately. Now they have to wait for him to come back up. He's not able to put that kind of latent, consistent pressure down as he's on respawn, and they really need him to be doing that. They need Bob in this fight to open things up, pull Light Gaming back so that they can get around the corner and actually get into some sightlines where they can do something.
But there is that Amp Matrix halt and no hook to be following up. Team CC now Supercharger. But they walk into a dragon. Sia, though, halts a self-destruct right behind his front line. But still, because Fearless had to step in front of his shield, he got taken care of trying to dodge that self-destruct. Bob on the field, though. Let's see if he can maintain the front line and gets instantly killed. Night God, it's in his name. He's going to thrive in the night. Doing great so far. Light Gaming has stalled this defense very well.
Now we also see Light Gaming stabilizing on the corner as well. That damage boost that they're getting from the Supercharger, allowing Light Gaming to hold this corner down, lock it down as well. You see Light Gaming actually, CC rather, sending Bunny around the side, trying to get the flank, not able to get it.
Oh, Unai eats the dragon. CC, Transcendence, Whole Hog. This is kind of the combination they go for, but Night God is now taking an angle. And now you gotta rely on JWJ to win this duel, or Night God's gonna have free range. Team CC, meanwhile, their front line was pushing in with the Whole Hog, but it's the sniper duels that have been favoring the defense all throughout this map, and even Volskaya, we could say.
Yeah, Light Gaming, they've had so much flank control over the course of this second phase here, and CC just cannot break through because of it. They're sending Bunny on the flank. He's getting shut down by Night God. Night God extends further and is able to then continue that pressure forward. You can see Dizzy actually just going again onto one of these flanks, and as they do have this flank control, it's still going to be difficult for CC despite this Mei and Genji swap, because their supports are going to be out there and susceptible to that pressure.
Oh, and a dragon cuts off the supports there at the back. Transcendence used just to make sure the front line, he can survive through that. But now, not much value being gained from these ultimates. CC with the swaps, more working towards maybe the Blizzard, maybe the Dragon Blade. No Ana for the damage mitigation of the Nano to be combining with it. But this has been so much time that CC have spent here and no progress has been made. And now it's going to be halted even more with the self-destruct taking out Bunny. CC now will have to reset.
It looks like they're going to be backed off again here, and now only 30 seconds remaining. That means you've got one last-ditch effort to win 2 subsequent fights in a row. I mean, you can't just win one fight and get it. You have to win another one after that, and you're still building into this Blade. It's not going to have the backup of the Nano unless Farway's insane in this next fight. Otherwise, they have to hold the Blade and hope that they find some kind of win condition for this first fight so that they can use the Nano Blade in the next.
Oh, and you have sights too. Dizzy is just going to be uncontested. There's no snipers. JWJ, maybe he can get a blade up. Immortality's already out. You have no more insurance for Team CC. This is not a very far push. Winning this fight, at least get point B. Give yourself a chance to make this holdable. But now you have no Orisa. But you got one amazing guy with a blade. JWJ is going in. Ah, there's a Transcendence. Damn, CC and Matrix can still make this work, but Dizzy finding shots above the shield still will stop CC. And this was first place of Group A, and to not push King's Row is so surprising for us to see. But Blizzard gives them a few more meters to go for CC, coming back on the Hammond, swinging away, forcibly pushing Light Gaming off of this payload, but no kills are going through. Light Gaming still in firm control of this map.
And you can see with Mizuki going down, there's no way that CC are going to be able to stabilize now. And that's going to be that. Light Gaming able to hold them on this first corner of the second phase of King's Row.
Light Gaming look amazing. Bringing back Nekkra for a quick thought. What do you think CC's issues were going through streets?
Well, that defensive position was just one of the secret ingredients for that impressive hold. But honestly, the biggest thing was that Unai switched to Diva. Now we've seen Unai play Diva for 2 maps in a row now, Volskaya, King's Row, and they've been playing that to such an amazing asset for this team. A lot of, protecting the DPS from flankers. Bunny couldn't get that angle that he wanted to there. Eating ultimates, you got that Dragon Eat, and then you also had a lot of protection from the shield break. So they were winning the shield war, they were able to take control of that defensive position, and they're holding strong.
Yeah, I really like the way that they're utilizing Unai. I mean, over the course of these last 2 maps, I think he's been, I have to agree, he's been absolutely pivotal, particularly in that shield trade capacity. I really like seeing what Light Gaming is able to accomplish by being able to hold ground, especially on that corner where CC, they just can't get the angle, they can't get the sight line, and they even tried as hard as they could with Bunny on the Mei to basically force those sight lines and still couldn't get the job done.
As we think Nekkra, we'll see her maybe after the round, after the match. Always dropping the knowledge, IQ points. I'm clearly lacking, but CC lacking in that attack means that Light Gaming have a real chance to take a lead in this series. And this kind of started off really hot for CC, kind of wiping Nepal pretty clean, but now it seems that things aren't coming the way that they thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, going into this matchup, I think the expectation, especially with what we've seen from CC over the course of these last few weeks, especially with Bunny being brought into the mix, I think CC was basically a shoo-in to go to semifinals. That was what we all kind of thought going into this. But Light Gaming, with the way that they're looking right now, especially with their double sniper, looks like they have a real shot to be able to steal this one away.
Now CC on the defense. It's the Hanzo Ashe. So Ashe may be having a bit of sacrifice on the range, but that ultimate so powerful over the sights of, let's say, a Widowmaker. Bob acting as that 7th person. But CC taking a second, staying in hotel, giving up that first tick though because that shield went down early. JWJ eating the shot from Night God. That box of victory is also around the corner. CC need to stall as much as they can. Hold hook, just find Dizzy. Now the defense can chill, not for long. There is no shield now protecting them. Second tick going through. CC cannot be staggered. They need to have a good attack ready for Archway coming up.
This is a good opening for Light Gaming. They only invest the Ant Matrix, and that means that they have everything available. CC, you can see them really kind of in that desperate position where they need to back off now. Otherwise, they're going to get picked off, and Light Gaming taking away as much as they can get. So this is going to enable Light Gaming to just put 2 on cart, 3 on cart, and push that thing through the archway, they don't even have to deal with that choke point, and that's going to be huge because now they just delete the Bob from this next fight and start pushing through with the Halt Dragon.
But also, like, half the team of CC got bad spawns. At least the Heurix got close spawns, but you have to wait for full, and that's such a long walk. You got no Lucio, so that's gonna be last fight. CC need to get back, but they have everything. Whole hog is at least what I'm looking for to at least win that shield battle. He already eats a ton of damage at the start and gets eaten alive by the Dragon Night God with 2. And Light Gaming push it for free. CC didn't even have a chance to use their ultimates, and Light Gaming will take a lead in the series.
And a simple victory there for Light Gaming. It made it look basically like they were just destined to take that one at the end of it, and easily done. Really, really clinical work there on the double sniper yet again for Light Gaming.
Well, Nekkra, it was a short round. We'll be bringing her back in. I know you just gave us your thoughts, but CC, the defense crumbled so fast for them.
Yeah, I've got a few more for this one. And honestly, this last round just affirmed to me what we've all been thinking. There's been an incredible amount of pre-research that's gone into this match. You can tell that Light Gaming has a great strategy to deal with Team CC, and it's working. Even Team CC tried to fight back with a little bit of their own medicine, saying, you know what? We could take Kings Row. You haven't won it yet. Well, guess what? Light Gaming just got their first win on Kings Row for the season. And I gotta say, even though Light Gaming has come into this series as a little bit of the underdog, right? They had a 3-2 record for the regular season. They had to play against some big hitters. Billy, you've got LGD, T1W, some really impressive teams that are on that side of the field. So I don't think we can count Light Gaming out of this one just yet. Double Sniper's working for them, and as we move into the last couple of maps, the Double Sniper might work there too.
Yeah, and on top of that, this is the best that we've seen Light Gaming look all season as well.
Oh, yeah.
So not only have they really played against some tough competition, but they've really leveled up going into this 2-2-2 roll lock where Night God, Dizzy looking really, really good together. You're seeing them actually check the other, their partners' angles oftentimes as well, where Dizzy making sure that he's on an off angle to Night God, and they're able to control those flanks, lock them down completely.
And there is your highlight pack with JWJ, the first couple picks, and then mainly you're deleting the Orisa shield, which left the defense exposed. And because half the team, like I said, had bad spawns, it was so hard for them to have that. They had all the ultimates, Heurix, but not able to even get that fight going, the last fight they needed. But it is a 2-1 lead for Light Gaming. We will be heading into a fourth map to see if CC can stay alive. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to our fourth map. Going into Dorado. Yes, CC will be picking this one against Light Gaming, and the stats make sense. It's all according to the script, right? Light Gaming have never won Dorado. CC pretty cool at it, 1-1, winning against Flag Gaming. So maybe Dorado definitely more comfortable of a map for CC.
Yeah, we've seen now at least the script flipped on its head. Kings Row was definitely the map that Light Gaming was supposed to lose and didn't. And I think realistically, it really came down to the fact that they went for double sniper on the side of CC. They're going to try to match this double sniper. I think that's an issue. I think you really need to rely on Bunny on the Mei, really make sure that he's able to get those walls up, really create that isolation, and also protect them from the halt, or actually enable the halt hooks on their side as well.
Well, so far, it's 2 consecutive maps for Light Gaming. And not only do I like stats, I like playing the mental game where losing 2 maps in a row after you thought you had a good start, it's definitely starting to feel in CC's head. You're losing maybe this, you're losing the sniper duels, the shield break going a little bit more in Light Gaming's favor. CC need to step up and take back the momentum, or just stop the momentum for Light Gaming. Send us into a map 5 where maybe control is what CC are better at.
Yeah, I would imagine that CC should be able to shine on that map 5 if they can get there. Still, though, even moving on to a map like Dorado, this is still kind of enabling Light Gaming to pick up that double sniper that they've just been so good on. You can see them taking up the flanks. I mean, that second point, that second stage here on Dorado should look so heavily in favor of Light Gaming that I would worry for CC in even making it through that juncture. I mean, if they can push through the second point, CC, they should look a lot better, but it really relies on how basically the performance is going to look like from Light Gaming to shut them down on the flanks on point B specifically to determine if CC is going to be able to even steal this one away.
But I also like May better on Dorado, especially defense, maybe more of the defense. Same. I'm glad we think the same way. Because that archway, having that May wall, best isolation. But so far the May from Bunny, it's not necessarily used for isolation. He's more using it as maybe a secondary shield to just kind of block off the fight, kind of a no man's land, and then kind of restart from that. I'm not seeing as much isolation from him, but more protection.
Yeah, I would wonder. I mean, we see quite a bit of that Rissa Hog combination with the halt hooks. It's working out quite well for Fearless and Sia, but I would almost wonder if switching Sia over to the D.Va and really investing into that Mei, making sure that they could actually advance forward, having the D.Va available as well, as we're going to be diving into Dorado here, that would really enable Bunny on the Mei to be able to make more plays, really create a lot more isolation onto Light Gaming, and be able to put more pressure down onto the shield and also the player of Roshan.
But just to reiterate how crazy this scoreline is right now, CC first place in Group A. And first place from both groups, usually easy to predict that maybe they'll make it far into the bracket. But for them to be on match point against the fourth place of Group B, and I've said it maybe if you remember me casting way back, maybe an hour ago or something, that the map differential pretty actually similar between CC and Light Gaming. So although the standings look different, Light Gaming clearly showing up into this 2-2-2 lock where we said this might affect a lot of teams more than others.
And it looks like we're already starting things up here. The action already has begun now between CC and Light Gaming. Again, Light Gaming, if they win this, they are moving on to the semifinals and shutting out a team that finished atop Group A, atop really, really solid teams with better map differentials than them, actually. CC was just able to win out those matchups when it really mattered.
And closer to that gauntlet spot, the thing everyone is aiming towards. Of course, there's some cool prize money on the line, but CC already using that immortality early, hiding that away. And the Light Gaming already disengaging towards this archway, the market side of things. And we're not seeing a Mei from Bunny. It's going to be the double sniper where you're relying on the angles being taken from CC. The Light Gaming have more space to play with, right?
The other thing too here is that Sia's on the D.Va. So now everything's actually kind of matched up. They can actually play with the shield war a little bit better. And now Bunny has a much better shot against Dizzy.
Immortality used from both sides. I mean, Light Gaming lasting a little bit longer because it's more hidden, but Shield War being won now even more from Light Gaming. They have the Ant Matrix, the shield a little bit misplaced from CC, so some vulnerabilities where you can catch some of this backline, especially with Light Gaming losing one support, but CC losing more than that. They still have an intact front line. Halt Hook not going to be going in. And it's a slow fight. Now, Ant Matrix for CC. This is where they go for more picks. Ooh. And it's Nyko that takes an angle from behind and finds JWJ. Big momentum push for CC coming up.
This is what we're always talking about, flank control. Night God is so good at shutting this down, and that lane is just fully in control of Light Gaming. Unfortunately for them, that flank isn't going to matter as much as the main fight is going to, as CC just barrel through, and now they're going to be able to capture point A and move into that more open territory where we've seen Dizzy already popping off, just slightly ahead of Bunny right now. After already investing his infrasight, Bunny just getting his up now, but now it's the flank opportunity for CC, as they're also going to have the vision to play around with on this flank as well.
And this high ground's going to matter so much more, because you only have a D.Va that can go and mess with people up there. The Heurix is way too slow and chunky to make that rotation, so whoever holds that high ground also has better angles. We're currently, Light Gaming, going to be getting up there. There you go, Dizzy. I was going to say, no one got up there until Dizzy heard what I had to say, but so far, Team CC more focused on pushing the cart. There's also maybe a bit of a flank from JWJ or some sniper from CC around the back, but still, Light Gaming winning the sniper war still.
Yeah, Bunny invests in infrasight, but got literally no value. I don't think he even took an angle to try to get a peek out onto Dizzy, because they were just basically denying that from him entirely. And the only way he was going to be able to get a shot in is if he fully hyperextended around to the back.
The supercharger from CC, again, we're trying to win that shield war. Trying to go forward, just getting the space. But this was kind of CC's issue on King's Row. Incrementally taking space costed them so many minutes of messing around in each other's Orisa shields. Self-destruct at the back, forces out maybe Transcendence, so you're getting some value out of that. Immortality feels nice and hidden, keeping CC immortal, if you will, although they've lost two. So not much progress being made on the attack so far.
Yeah, and Bunny getting shut down again by Dizzy, and you can see them really struggling again. This is very similar to the look we got on King's Row, where playing into this double sniper, they're struggling to get that flank control, even in basically sending Bunny off on that one-man wrecking crew type flank where he's going to try to get behind the enemy team and just lay in the damage. It's just not able to deal with the 1v1 that Dizzy has just been hammering him away on.
There's Amp Matrix. CC again working on breaking the shield. They've had this ultimate a few times. The Dragon maybe was trying to trap them in that corner, but they were able to space out just in time. CC really working on their own Halt Dragon. And how this is going to work. JWJ, you're looking through the eyes of the guy who can make it happen. Taking an angle. Maybe trying to win this duel against Dizzy, holding onto the Dragon for as much as he can, waiting for the immortality most likely. And there is the Dragon lined up into the front line. It separates Roshan away from the rest. And this has to be a kill for CC, but they still are falling behind.
This is looking like Light Gaming. I mean, they're just holding them down on the same exact style of defense that we saw in King's Row. Now, though, it's just so much easier for them to get flank control because they have the high ground to play off of with their snipers. And this is forcing CC to make an adjustment. This is a good time now, though. They need to make these swaps here rather than later, where they won't have time to build up into those ultimates like we saw them fall victim to on King's Row. Now, though, they will have the ability to generate that Nano Blade that they weren't able to on King's Row. JWJ gonna open up this fight in a big way. Bunny able to do the same thing like we saw him do on Nepal on this Doomfist pick.
This is a similar swap to what they did on King's Row, except with the Doomfist makes a lot more sense than the Mei. JWJ dislodging them from the high ground. This is good, but the Supercharger is really deadly. And just like that, cleaning things up as Light Gaming, such a lights out defense. And I don't want to use that joke too often, but the snipers are untouchable.
And an interesting pick from Fearless there. We saw him initially just try to do his best impression of Bumper. He's like, if Vancouver Titans can pull off Reinhardt, I can too, right? Well, maybe not, especially with high ground control, again, still in favor of Light Gaming with this double sniper. That shield pressure is going to be a lot to deal with as well. Dragon Strike, though, ready for Night God. He's going to release it.
It's like completely the wrong direction. It went towards the right, only to get Bunny. Hey, the solo Dragon, I'll take it. You always got to be flattered when all the attention is towards you, but again, all the initial picks going for Light Gaming. Immortality Field, even when things get a little bit dicey, the Immortality Field is nicely hidden, takes Team CC some time. But now that they have high ground control, is where Team CC get more ult charge in. Amp Matrix for the defense. Team CC sends self-destructing stuff into the back, trying to get more control, but Unite does the same thing right back. CC need to keep up this momentum.
And now, where they're really going to need it, they will have the Nano Blade available. CC just needs to make sure that they take a little bit of pressure, just kind of sponge up a little bit of damage from Light Gaming before this next fight starts, so that Faraway can get that last tiny bit of percentage towards that Nano Boost so that they can have it to be available where they can just aggressively start the fight with that Nano Blade and just swing everything in their favor right out of the gates.
But you don't have the Nano ready yet, and then you also have a sniper to deal with. And also, Night God on the Doomfist, which was really scary on Nepal. So still working on that Nano. JWJ getting a little bit impatient. And you're also gotta wait for that immortality to be out. There's the Nano instantly as soon as he gets it. Blade into the back. Oh, he got halted. Transcendence to counter him. B612 has been so clutch with these. As soon as JWJ goes Genji, B612 holds a lifetime long Transcendence just for him. CC still with an advantage. Just need to have these snipers work on Dizzy, who's in their backline.
And you can see Dizzy under pressure now. It looks like Sia should be able to deal with him, or at least keep him out of the fight long enough for CC to maybe get something done, but it's cleanup time. Oh, they step off.
Well, Night God also, like, killed the children and the family coming for that card. Like, the guy is disgusting on Doomfist. Nekkra, we're all smiles here. This is CC still struggling on their attack.
We've seen Team CC historically check all of their angles and do a great job of checking some of those flanks, but there's just too many opportunities to attack on Dorado that you have to watch in front of you, to both sides, behind you, like all the way way from spawn. I don't know. They can come from anywhere. So I think that Team CC is getting a little bit overwhelmed by Light Gaming strategy, and I think Light Gaming likes corners. They're playing a different game here. Peekaboo is not exactly what I expected to see in Overwatch, but it's working out for them so far, and I don't think that we're seeing Team CC switch fast enough to be able to deal with their compositions.
I think that's exactly it. Adaptation is going to be key in this matchup, and it's really, really difficult, it seems, for CC to find. I mean, we even saw the Reinhardt come out from Fearless. If that's not an indication of they're really struggling to find something to figure a way to get in here, then I don't know what is.
Well, thanks, Nekkra. We'll see her probably after the round or after the match, but yeah, it's definitely maybe just dive would have been the play. Like, you're having issues with the shield war. No advancements were ever really made, even with Amp Matrix, even with Supercharger. I rarely ever saw CC win the shield war. And if you're not winning the shield war, then mostly everything else is not going to work out. And that's where maybe the dive, getting onto the high ground, to just contest some of these snipers, help your snipers out if they're not winning that duel. But Light Gaming on the attack, winning condition is set. That box of victory over at point B will claim them the series and advance them in the semifinals, where CC not only will not get there, but also will miss their chance at getting to Gauntlet, which would be against the expectations of everyone on this desk.
Yeah, this is a super winnable position for Light Gaming to be in right now. Claim that second objective, and you're all green. I mean, that green light just completely lights up, the brightest that they've ever seen it. They'll move on to the semifinals. It's just looking so good for them at the moment. But now, Light Gaming stampeding through, looking to shut down Bunny in the backline as he's rotating around.
And this card is ever moving until now. There wasn't much of an archway contest. Clearly the shield war working out for Roshan and the friends. The Amp Matrix from the defense kind of pushes Light Gaming. They kind of want to wait it out. And they took that building side, the right side, to regenerate their cooldowns as Roshan steps back up. Now they have their own Amp Matrix, and he's going to drop it. Sentry, now they can feed all this damage into Fearless's shield, or maybe JWJ, whichever one you want to pick. JWJ into the back. It's going to win that duel against Dizzy. Dizzy 76, not going to happen so far, but Light Gaming, because of JWJ, might have to stop their offense.
Well, CC looks like they're stabilizing at the moment, and I, again, really, really like that Sia has actually been diverted off of the Hog, and he's now playing the Diva in this match. I think this has provided them with a lot more stability at that front line, where they're able to just kind of keep that shield up, allow JWJ and allow Bunny to take some safer angles, even though despite that being available to JWJ, you see him far more aggressive right now, taking up very much a kind of Night God mentality on this Pharah.
He's almost more confident on the Pharah against two snipers than being a sniper himself. But not only pressuring the shield, he can easily just go behind the shield. Even use a concussive blast to move people forward. Supercharger just never existed. You could pretend that didn't happen. And now he's deleting people from Light Gaming. JWJ is way too free. Light Gaming cannot get any sights on him.
Yeah, this is that kind of Shanghai Dragon style of playing this particular hero. You just stay up all the way up in the skybox, LOS, so that basically the only people that can deal with you are people that overextend into that main fight, so that they're way out of position and you're just peppering away at where you expect them to be. It takes a really good Pharah player to be able to pull that off, and JWJ is exactly that.
Still vision for Dizzy. And you mentioned before how having that vision, you can take different angles. You have a big advantage in that sniper duel. But how they deal with JWJ too, it seems his focus is more onto the opposing Widow rather than trying to get any shots with that information onto JWJ. Still free shots. Transcendence though buys him some time. No immortality, no insurance left for Light Gaming. Winning the ground war though, maybe just ignoring JWJ is Light Gaming's plan.
Oh, you can see it, Light Gaming. Looks like they're gonna finally be able to capture this here, but Night God needs to be able to get this last pick, and looks like with the help of the rest of the team now, Light Gaming able to finally solidify this one and have 3 minutes now to push through the second phase of the map. But again, something to take note of is Night God is on that Doomfist. This is an alteration to their typical comp, the standard setup that they would go for in this section of the map. CC going to be looking to try to pull everybody up to that high ground that they possibly can and get away from Night God. Try to open up this map here so that Dizzy can actually be pressured.
And Dizzy, well, that's enough pressure when you send 2 for 1. But pushing the payload forward. Remember that box of victory is at least closer to point B, so it's not going to be just one fight that they have to take. Like Gaming have at least more pressure running the Doomfist. It's not the double sniper anymore. You have Far End Doomfist. You're going to be up to pressuring the backlines, pressuring the shields. JWJ with that barrage. Again, he doesn't want to use it when there's any danger in his sight, meaning a sniper.
That got forced to fall back. CC now clearing the field. Looks like Light Gaming just basically disappearing right now. It's like someone snapped their fingers and they just, half of them were gone. Unlucky.
I see it. I see the reference you're trying to make, and not Gaming at all the movie you're referencing, but Light Gaming. I mean, they're getting caught out as Night God goes for these dives. He's often CC'd, and they're sending a few members to deal with people with like Dizzy, dealing with people like Night Gods. I like the more teamwork we're seeing out of CC here.
This is a different look from them right now. Light Gaming really struggling to get around this corner themselves this time around, and I think JWJ has had a big impact.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta throw a whole bomb at it. It's still not gonna find JWJ. He's the best hide and seek person. But you have no mercy. JWJ taking a lot more damage. He can't be as free. He's still finding kills. And the Nano giving a Dizzy into the backline. He is destroying Team CC. And they're staying behind the shield. C is going to go after him. Dizzy almost finishing it off. But the self-destruct from CC kind of slows things down a bit. Last minute of the game for Light Gaming. Or maybe CC can force a game 5.
Oh, this is going to be a close one here. CC breaking out of the gates. They're going to have Barrage available. Bunny going to be able to take an off angle that Dizzy's not going to be able to contest that. He's now that he is on the McCree. So this is an opening here for Team CC to play around with. Get the flank control going for your side, and then just push JWJ in there. Put that pressure down now that he's on the Hanzo as opposed to the Pharah, despite having the Barrage available.
You can't have Night God free in your backline like that. They obviously know he's there. They went even for a halt, but now he's free onto the high ground. Could even get shots into the front line, the back line. He's dueling against the other Hanzo. Has forced him to go away. A great Matrix stops Dizzy's Deadeye. But Light Gaming have all the angles. They have the high ground, and JWJ's not winning that Hanzo duel before Sia has to do it for him. CC getting a few more picks. Light Gaming, the last 10 seconds to keep this push going. They have no Orisa. They only have a Lucio to stall this one out. They've lost all the members at the crucial moment. Only Yunai is left. No self-destruct. CC, team wipe, the one they needed. It wasn't the greatest attack, but the better defense is the better offense. And CC have sent us into a game 5.
And this is where they should look a lot better as well. So by some virtue, by some grand design, CC are able to save themselves on a map that looked like it was very much going the way of Light Gaming.
Nekkra, we've seen such a better showing from CC, but particularly on their defense. What did you think worked out there?
Honestly, it was that Bunny figured out how to land those shots, and you also saw JWJ get a lot more confident on that Pharah choice, and I think that played to their strengths on the attack. Tanks were able to create so much more space to allow JWJ to do their job, and honestly, the biggest star for me might be Mizuki. It really might be. The Mercy play has looked so strong. The Batiste play has looked excellent. I think we're seeing a star in the making here for Mizuki.
Yeah, I really like what we got out of JWJ. I mean, having someone that's really stable at his back as well in the form of Mizuki, I think really helps him, especially because he's kind of off on an island. This is a different look for JWJ than we're typically used to seeing. Oftentimes, you really kind of wait for Bunny to create that opening, then JWJ goes forward. Now they're just sending JWJ forward throughout, and he needs to have that stability. He needs to have that composure next to him, and it seems like Mizuki has basically come through and really provided that for him.
And Nekkra, we saw JWJ kind of pull out the Genji both times on King's Row in this map, and it didn't work out. Did you think that was just B612 reading him like a book, or was this just desperate plays from CC that didn't work out?
I think those were just desperate. I think it could go either way, right? You're giving me two sides of the coin that honestly fit in this situation. Part of it is just honestly B6 just knows exactly how to deal with the Genji and was holding on to that Transcendence for the perfect moment there. And honestly, sometimes winning out that Transcendence duel when we've seen Faraway switch over to the Zenyatta. So B612, incredible Zenyatta. And I want to hand it to the Zenyatta play for that one.
Yeah, and on top of that, we also saw Night God, despite Light Gaming really getting kind of shut down there on their attack, Night God still showing out on that Doomfist, and that's a pick that we have to kind of keep in the back of our minds going into a map 5.
JWJ looking sick on the far, CC looking sick on map 4, but how will game 5 go? We'll see you guys after this short break. It's map 5, baby, between Team CC and Light Gaming, the quarterfinal, first to 3. Now it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen here. No draws. I do not see the draw. I see someone taking this. I'm a great fortune teller, but honestly, I have no idea who can take this. If you remember, Nepal CC started off strong, but the flame kind of dimmed a little bit in the series.
Yeah, over the course of this matchup, we saw Light Gaming really playing into that double sniper. Things looked really good when they were able to pull that out. CC, on the other hand, it seems like they're trying to adapt, but they're kind of struggling finding something that really is going to work against that double sniper, especially with Unai on the D.Va as well. Finally, I think the matching the D.Va has worked for them. Sia pulling that out has been something that has given them some stability at the front line, has been able to allow them to keep that that pressure going and kind of take those trades more evenly. But Busan, this is another matchup where the double sniper could come into play on multiple of these maps, particularly Sanctuary. I mean, Mecha Base, you could pull it out. Even downtown, all 3 of these maps, you could see the double sniper, and if Light Gaming pulls those out, CC should be worried.
CC were worried maybe before coming into Dorado, and they just figured, well, let's just screw counters, let's just go Pharah into double sniper and see what happens. And JWJ happened, and that's where he played the angles, and he's still incredibly, I think, more confident, like I said, on the Pharah than any other hero. He got kind of countered on the Genji, as I spoke about with Nekkra, but Pharah, I think, will be his best look. Now you're going to Mecha Base, where maybe I'll take back my point. I don't think Pharah can go through the doorways and the low ceilings as well, but
far too open as well. Yeah, it's just, you know, having that those low ground entrances that you have to take, going through doorways where you're going to be split. You also have to deal with, of course, that really kind of open space. Light Gaming CC cannot rely on that. Instead, here they're going to be going into dealing with Night God again. It's that same composition that we saw coming through on Nepal on both sides.
Maybe CC thinking Night God is gonna do his Doomfist thing and having that McCree stun, giving you kind of like that Brig, but with more DPS, because she's kind of like a DPS tank support all in one. But no Brig here, only JWJ popping off, already pressuring Light Gaming off at this point. That will be CC's first take, and on a map like this, kind of like Control Center of Lijiang Tower, really favors the defense and how you can hold the chokes.
Yeah, that's a clean take right there for CC. Farway also coming away with the amplification matrix here as well. That's going to put a lot of pressure down into Light Gaming. We'll have to see how CC wants to time this, because Light Gaming could just pull away from this doorway, just wait that amp matrix out, and then extend past it, try to get an angle for them.
And I got realizing he's kind of a liability on the Doomfist when you have these stuns, you have the halts. But JWJ still popping off. Dizzy kind of went on an off angle into the back. Not playing as aggressively, not focusing down JWJ, and if JWJ is not pressured, we saw what happens on other maps, he will take that freedom and run with it. But now, you're just kind of cleaning up Light Gaming, the stun on the Dizzy getting too close, and that Matrix not there in time. Unai will also lose mech, so this slows down things even more for Light Gaming.
JWJ diving right on in, and again, CC just looking so solid. It seems like compositionally, they're just at such a distinct advantage, and they can just keep this ball rolling. They don't need to utilize any resources to try to get these wins. Realistically speaking, CC could just kind of hold on to this Blizzard for the next fight, utilize that as a solo ultimate, maybe use one more ultimate to just clean things up very cleanly so that they have the ability to hold against a stall that's going to come out from Light Gaming.
Man, I don't see Bunny. Oh, there's that first wall. It's not used for isolation, just kind of creating a roadblock, if you will, but now they're not playing very far forward. CC looking to set up this Blizzard. It's actually the Dragon that comes out first from Night God, pushes CC back. Deadeye versus Deadeye, who is the bigger cowboy? I should be the only cowboy in town, but actually both get Matrix. JWJ still winning the McCree duel, which we've been kind of hyping up Dizzy and the Widow, but clearly this is the Western for JWJ. Blizzard on the field, another Deadeye for the guy, not even using it to reload. He's not chat enough, but 96% plus. Team CC looking to close this out, and Light Gaming not having their full 6 for this.
And now CC cleaning things up, it looks like, and again, just so clean in their play, able to, what looks like it's going to be a 100-0, but as Light Gaming, they have the control on the high ground, and the Baptiste keeping things going right now. CC really need to close this out quickly, otherwise Light Gaming could get a hold.
Yeah, Sia finishing off kills that the Light Gaming just can't heal through, and just not enough pressure. 100-0. Big deja vu on how Nepal went. But JWJ, I think, kind of regained that confidence after Dorado. I kind of talked about that mental factor of losing 2 maps in a row. I think Dorado might have just helped them not only get to Game 5, but helped them just play a lot better as a team.
Yeah, I think what's interesting here for these two Cowboys is that Team CC is kind of switching the game up, right? I mean, Light Gaming, their horse is literally in the back. It's on respawn. Roshan's dead. CC has their horse in the front. So it's just a better look for them all around, really flipping the script on what you would expect a Cowboy to accomplish here in this game.
I don't even want to, I'm not going to ask any questions, but maybe now time to flip the switch, but no Hanzo on the field. Team CC, Hammond with the Diva, no shield. Light Gaming with the Reaper and Moira. I'm looking forward to it. We've seen a lot of this in Owl recently with the Mei, slowing things down. You have the damage. Light Gaming chase after some exposed supports of CC, and now they have to disperse.
This really comes down to how well Light Gaming know how to actually prioritize their cooldowns, position accordingly so that they can stay away from the Pharah. JWJ has the allowance to really kind of do whatever he wants here, so Light Gaming need to make sure right now that they stabilize at all times, build up the coalescence, then they can focus their attention to JWJ and Mizuki.
And this was really rough for CC that Light Gaming won that first fight, because now they can set up their Arista shield, have their Reaper just chill out. Really messing up that setup would have been key for Team CC. Now to literally bowl through them and have Bunny follow up. JWJ following up with that too. Barrage at the ready, needing to break down this shield, but Light Gaming are playing so close together. It's hard for Bunny to find an opening.
Well, there it is. There's the coalescence. Now they can pressure JWJ and Mizuki out as much as possible and then control that that low ground game.
Great follow from JWJ. Dizzy almost got healed up by the Moira. The final rocket now just completely make it 3. The supports, your tanks, your family, children, and pets are now deleted. Team CC on the back of JWJ can now take back this point.
Yeah, and Light Gaming, they're just trying to extend this lead just a little bit further if they can pull it off here, and they do accomplish it. So 57% on the board now for Light Gaming. It doesn't look like they're going to be making swaps. They're building into the Blizzard. And I really like this setup actually from them. I do think that this composition should get them the win if they play it properly. Again, still have to deal with JWJ and Mizuki in the sky. They're not going to be able to basically pressure them at all unless the coalescence is available for B612.
And Dizzy is only going to thrive in close range quarters. At least they have a Lucio to get their setup going. Barrage, Nano, you know it's coming. And look, the barrier was used almost preemptively knowing maybe a barrage was coming. But now all JWJ had was to wait it out. Kind of a scare factor. No supercharger, getting around the shield. Self-destruct. There's Light Gaming getting ready with a Blizzard. And that's cleared the entire point. But JWJ lines him up with the barrage. It's a 2-for-1. Still not resable. CC focusing on healing the team. Now Moira has to be next on the hit list. Only the supports remain, and CC hold on.
Stabilizing for now. Light Gaming swapping things up. It looks like they need a more direct answer to JWJ. They even bring out the Sombra as well. I was expecting them to actually keep that Mei pick, but as long as they have some kind of answer for Fearless, and Night God can still provide that on the Sombra, using the vanilla hacks to try to take down Fearless or even delete the defense matrix from Sia as well.
There's Fearless making it rain, closing down that left side temporarily. Now they flip over towards the middle. Coalescence, able to keep everyone up for the moment, pressuring them down. CC losing a bit of that map control, Sia, but there's the bolt through. Fearless slams them up. Everyone's very low, but look how low Light Gaming are, and there's the finishes from Bunny following up with that. They've even cornered the Sombra away from Translocate. There's the stick, should finish off, and even get the self-destruct out, which is not going to have any value. So CC, 95+%. I can't believe how dominant of a control map this is, and Light Gaming not seeing the end of this tunnel. They have nobody to keep this point going. They got so far, they had the lead in the series. Team CC forced the game 5 and they take it from under their noses. CC will advance to the semifinal.
Yeah, and pure comfort at the end there as well. Not only is JWJ on the Pharah, but Bunny gets to be able to pick out the Tracer as well. That is going to be the best look that you're ever going to see out of CC with that particular composition.
Bringing back Nekkra, expert analyst. Wow, light gaming looks so good, and CC were the ones to close it out. What did you think of Busan?
I think that Light Gaming came into this with a lot of preparation from the heavy hitters that they had to play against in their side of the bracket, but they weren't prepared for the adaptability that Team CC brought to the table with the addition of Bunny and Mizuki into the roster. There was a lot of depth there from Team CC's compositions right at the end, and I gotta point out, I guess, map to map, what I really felt like were keys there. So, first map of Busan, when we were in Mecha Base, Bunny played the Mei, and Heurix, you were talking a little bit before about putting more of an investment into Bunny's Mei, and it worked out. They might have heard you or something, but Team CC was able to get that to work. Bunny didn't necessarily use the Mei walls to isolate members of Light Gaming to pick them off one by one, but what it did do was buy Team CC enough time, enough control at that point, that it limited the number of times that Light Gaming actually had to attempt to touch point. That was really special.
Yeah, I really like that. I would have liked to even see a little bit more of Bunny on Mei, especially as they're gearing into some really tough matchups ahead of them. They're really going to, I think, need Bunny in that capacity, because even going further, you're talking about that matchup versus Dizzy, Bunny kind of struggling on that Widow v Widow. Well, think about what else is on the table. You still have Kadalis, you still have Shy. I mean, there's tons of really solid players in the mix that they have to deal with. They're going to need something else to be able to fall back onto.
And Nekkra, it felt like Team CC went back to what they know best, which was before was a Hammond 3 DPS, where they kind of played it like that. They had the Pharah, the Tracer, utter chaos, utter damage, and even with the Moira from Light Gaming, it still wasn't enough to heal them.
They kept switching it up there, and that last round of Busan was really special for Team CC, where they did show us where their roots were. They like to play a lot of Wrecking Ball triple DPS, and somehow, it's 222 Lock found a way to go back to that play style. and really what happened there was, even especially with the Wrecking Ball, they were able to disrupt the composition of Light Gaming enough where you were having a lot of 1v1s, and the raw skill that Team CC was able to show us just played in their favor there. They were able to take those 1v1s really handedly, and they won them that point.
Yeah, I think that was super interesting too, where we saw a lot of changes being made on Light Gaming side, where they were still trying to deal with Fearless, and really they just kind of struggled to shut him down as well. Fearless was able to just kind of control that point so easily, and CC really benefited from that in a big way, where we also saw Bunny following up on the Tracer as well, something that I don't think we're going to see all too much of, despite my desire to see him on Tracer, because he is such a good Tracer. I mean, even in Overwatch League, he was renowned for being very solid, dueling specifically on Tracer.
But it felt that Light Gaming exposed a lot of weaknesses from Team CC, particularly picking maps that CC weren't best on, and Light Gaming clearly improving even their weaknesses on certain maps, although Dorado didn't go their way. Nekkra, what do you think Team CC have to improve on or work on as they advance into the semifinal?
While they have a lot of adaptability in their teams, I think that it's just going to be getting more comfortable with each other. They added 2 new pieces to the puzzle, Mizuki and Bunny, and you could feel it at times where they didn't have the team synergy that you expected Team CC to have. So I think that they've been thrown for a loop a little bit, and they got to tighten it up in these next couple of games.
Yeah, I have to agree. They have some really tough matchups ahead. Certainly, Light Gaming, I think, leveled up for this playoff series. I mean, this is the best that we've seen from them. I'm really excited to even see them going forward. This is a team that I expect very much will return into the next year, 2020, of matches and contenders that will continue forward and look really solid. Light Gaming really showed out later in the season, certainly more so than the beginning. But CC, I think, going forward, they need to be able to step up in a big way. I mean, think about the matchups that are ahead of them. They have, teams like potentially LGD, teams like potentially BLG. Those kind of matchups, I think, are a direct improvement over what Light Gaming was able to accomplish today. So if they can't really do well against Light Gaming, then it's a little bit of a worry thinking about those teams coming ahead.
Well, speaking of looking into the future, Team CC claimed that Game 5 victory over Light Gaming to see who will join them in the semifinal. It's LGD versus Bubble Burster Gaming, our second quarterfinal, coming right your way. See you soon.